Chapter 71. Intimidating Ding Dong. 3 days later, Ding Rui stood at the mouth of a large hall, coldly looking at the countless clouds above the floating island. 600 discs of stumps, 3 days down the line, 10 times the reward, and only 3 pieces cracked. Ding Rui coldly looked to the side at Ding Dong. Ding Dong spread his hands, revealing a wave of aggression as he said, "Gu Hai and Tu Sheng Chess King didn't make another move, and the others only solved 3 pieces. Me. Why didn't they make a move?" Ding Rui coldly looked at Ding Dong. I don't know. They said they were a bit tired." Ding Dong laughed bitterly. "Tired? Excuses, all excuses. If I hadn't used the kin to enter the Tao, I would have unraveled it long ago." Ding Dong. "Go and urge again. Urge them to hurry up," Ding Rui coldly said. "But it's useless to rush. I visited them all," Ding Dong said bitterly. "Go again," Ding Rui said in a cold voice. "Fine," Ding Dong said bitterly. HMPH. Ding Rui let out a cold snort and twisted her head to cross into the great hall. Ding Dong helplessly retreated and once again came to the Yuron Valley. The surrounding cultivators were very enthusiastic to the extent that they kept studying the stump. However, breaking the game was not that easy. Waiting for them to crack it, I don't know how long it would take. One could only hope on the slaughtered life chess king and Gu Hai. Ding Dong looked at the attics on both sides and was silent for a moment before finally striding towards Gu Hai's small compound. Sovereign. Outside the compound, there were Ding Long sect disciples who specialized in serving and keeping an eye on Gu Hai. "How is it? Mr. Gu hasn't come out in the small courtyard, and in the past 2 days, he's just been cooking tea and reading books," the disciple said. Ding Dong's eyelids lightly jumped for a moment. "Mergu," Ding Dong called out into the small courtyard. "The door is open. Come in yourself." Gu Hai's leisurely voice came from the small courtyard. Ding Dong stepped towards the small courtyard. In the small courtyard, Ding Dong looked around and soon saw Gu Hai in a main hall. A small cooker was placed in front of Gu Hai, with tea boiling on it. Gu Hai poured a cup of tea and grasped a scroll seemingly in the middle of studying it. "Mr. Gu." Ding Dong greeted him and crossed into the hall. "Oh, Patriarch Ding." Gu Hai smiled faintly and put down the scroll. "Mr. Gu, how has the rest been these past few days?" "Not bad, right. The scenery here is pleasant. The air is fresh. It's a good place to retire." Gu Hai laughed. Ding Dong. Seeing Gu Hai's casual babbling, Ding Dong could only stop being polite and got straight to the point. "Mergu, it's been 3 days already. Is it possible for Mergu to crack the stumps again? Now the reward is enlarged tenfold. 100 top-grade spirit stones for solving a stump game." Gu Hai held the tea bowl, gently blew on it and slowly took a sip. There was no rush. "Mergu," Ding Dong said somewhat anxiously. "Patriarch Ding, I've been here for the past few days. Can't you tell?" Gu Hai smiled faintly. "Oh," Ding Dong was slightly stunned. "Nuo Da Ding Long sect. I wonder what it would look like once it is razed to the ground," Gu Hai said with a slight smile. "Razed to the ground, Mergu. What do you mean by that?" Ding Dong's eyes glared and said, "What is the intention? Patriarch Ding, you've done it yourself, and you still can't guess the consequences," Gu Hai said with a faint smile. Gu Hai's calm, a mysterious expression, more and more inscrutable to Ding Dong. "Mr. Gu, speak clearly. I don't understand." Ding Dong shook his head and said, "You don't understand? It's good if you don't understand. When the time comes, it might just be some physical pain." Gu Hai shook his head and said. The less Gu Hai said, the more anxious Ding Dong became. "Mr. Gu, what do you mean? What's some pain in the flesh? Speak clearly," Ding Dong shouted with glaring eyes. "I remember there was such a criminal law. What was it called? Oh, I remember. It's called the skinning law. Haven't you heard of it?" Gu Hai laughed. "Criminal law, skinning law." Ding Dong looked at Gu Hai. Well, Let's take you as an analogy. First seal your cultivation to make you immortal, then what? Bury you vertically in the earth, leaving only your head outside, so you can't move. Then make a hole in your head, just a thin layer. Break the scalp only. Can't die, don't worry. Gu Hai looked at Ding Dong and laughed as he gestured. But Ding Dong's eyelids fluttered wildly. And then where the hole is opened, pour mercury into it. Mercury, you know. You know, that's good. That's the thing, after filling it in, sticking to the skin and flowing in the skin. That's itchy, 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 itchy. Gu Hai whispered. Ding Dong, however, suddenly felt a general itch all over his body and looked at Gu Hai. Ha, there just happens to be a hole in the head. Drilling out will not be itchy. When you jump, you don't even want the skin. Drilling out, all of a sudden it's so comfortable. Gu Hai said with a smile. Skin do not want. Ding Dong, with a steep jolt, was filled with panic. Gu Hai, what do you want? Ding Dong glared and coldly shouted. Splat. Gu Hai threw the tea bowl towards the table. Ding Dong subconsciously shuddered. Ding Dong, you're still stubborn. So be it. Just pretend I didn't say it. You go out. I'll continue cracking the stump tomorrow. Gu Hai said coldly. Ding Dong's eyes shifted for a moment, and a cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Gu Hai didn't make any indecent demands, but just the words he said just now made Ding Dong's whole body shiver. After all, Ding Dong was also in a state of fear these days. Mr. Gu, you, please also make it clear. Ding Dong said with a cold sweat on his forehead. Say it clearly or not, you know in your heart. Where do you think the criminal law I just mentioned is? Gu Hai laughed. Your One Piece Hall criminal law. Ha 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 ha. When have you heard that my One Piece Hall has this criminal law? Gu Hai laughed coldly. This is no longer a matter for the One Piece Hall. Ding Dong, you understand. There are some people who cannot be touched. Take the Hall Master's mother for example. She died, but do you think it's over? No, it's not over. Since 20 years ago, because of the death of the Hall Master's mother, 100 heads would fall to the ground every day. Listen carefully. It's every day. Gu Hai laughed. Every day. How come I don't know? Of course you don't know. What qualifications do you have to know this secret? You don't know. That's because the murderer is still being searched for. It never stops. Never. But it's getting close. We've already found out about the 9-5 Islands. This is the source. Some people are looking for death. They send their own heads. We can't do anything about that. Isn't that right, Patriarch Ding? Gu Hai laughed. Gu Hai, you can't scare me. Ding Dong glared round and drank. Although he was furious, Gu Hai had already seen a trace of cold sweat emerge from his forehead. If you think I scare you, then just pretend I didn't say it. Patriarch Ding, you can go now, Gu Hai said indifferently. Who sent you? If you don't tell me, I'll kill you right away. Ding Dong drew his longsword and glared. Do you think that if I dared to come to your Ding Long sect alone, I would be afraid of you and the hiding Ding Rui? Gu Hai sneered. How do you know? Ding Dong's eyes glared, revealing a murderous aura. How do I know? You think I'm the only one who knows? Gu Hai sneered. Who else? Who else is there? What do you all know? What is the purpose of your visit? Ding Dong anxiously said. We don't know anything. Well, what I've come for is just to ascertain Long Wanqing's safety. My mission is complete. There's nothing for me to do next. You get busy with your business. Gu Hai laughed. Pa! Ding Dong instantly fell into his chair. You knew. How did you know that Long Wanqing was imprisoned? How could you possibly know that? Is it Master Liu Nian? No. If it was Master Quecksilver, he would have come long ago. Ding Dong's heart was in turmoil as he said. How could I know? Do you think that with just you and Ding Rui, things can be hidden from the grandfather of the Hall Master? Gu Hai sneered. Ding Dong immediately showed a look of panic. Hall Master's grandfather. Impossible. It's impossible for him to come to the 9-5 Islands. If he were to come, he would have, long ago. Ding Dong said in horror. It's good that you are imprisoning the Hall Master. With the Hall Master, with this dragon vein, the bait is enough. The big fish will soon take the bait. The truth of the death of the Hall Master's mother will soon be revealed. When that happens, blood will flow, eh? You guys helped find out the truth after all. Won't even spare your souls. A slight punishment will do, Gu Hai faintly said. A slight punishment. Long Wanqing's grandfather has already ambushed the 4 directions, waiting for the big fish to take the bait. A minor punishment. What minor punishment? Ding Dong's mind was in the midst of violent fluctuations. By the way, do you feel an itch on your body? Gu Hai laughed. As he spoke, Gu Hai stepped out to go out in general. Don't, Mr. Gu. Mergu. Don't go. Don't go. I was forced. I'm innocent. Ding Dong instantly cried and ran to Gu Hai, hugging Gu Hai's legs and kneeling down. Gu Hai coldly looked at Ding Dong. I'm really innocent. If I don't agree with Cousin Ant will kill me. The Hall Master is here with me. He has been living well these days. I even sent someone to serve him specially. Really. Ding Dong hugged Gu Hai's leg, kneeling down in the middle of begging for mercy. Ding Long sect. In the middle of a large hall, Long Wanqing was sitting in front of a cloudy stump. This was one of the 600 stumps around the floating island. Long Wanqing was bored and had to have one. After looking at the board for a while, Long Wanqing didn't have the heart to solve it, so annoyed. Gu Hai is here. No, we have to inform Gu Hai. He's only at the innate realm. Even if he's strong, he's no match for Ding Rui and Ding Dong. And his whereabouts have been discovered by Ding Rui for a few days now. Could he have been harmed? The tone of Ding Rui's last visit seemed like she wanted to kill Gu Hai before she was relieved. This is the Ding Long sect, Ding Dong's home turf. It's easy as pie for Ding Dong to kill Gu Hai. By the way, a few days ago the remnants of a large piece of the crack should be caused by Gu Hai, right? There's no movement in the past few days. Gu Hai is dead. Long Wanqing's face turned ugly for a while. Steeply, a voice came from outside the Great Hall. Patriarch Ding, the helmsman isn't here. Why are you here? The guards at the doorway curiously said. It's fine. You guard yours. Cousin Ant told me to ask Long Wanqing something, Ding Dong said in a deep voice. All right, the guards nodded. Ding Dong crossed into the large hall, followed by a black-robed man. Kwong. Once he entered the grand hall, Ding Dong instantly closed the door. Ding Dong, you guys killed Gu Hai, right? Long Wanqing said in a cold voice. Plop. Ding Dong, however, suddenly knelt down. Hall Master. I was forced by Ding Rui. I didn't intentionally target Hall Master or Hall Master, forgive me. Long Wanqing. Thank you, Hall Master, for remembering. Gu Hai is unharmed. The black-robed man on the side laughed. As he spoke, the black-robed man slowly lifted his hat, revealing his true face. Gu Hai. Long Wanqing was surprised.